Episode 54. Komori Moriko's star is on the rise. Her power as a summoner only grows, first Ifrit, then Titan, and soon Garuda. Where will she stop? Who knows? Not until she can summon, I don't know, a dragon, or a skeleton, or God itself. Should be able to wrap up the summoner quests in this episode. Thought we'd actually be on level 50 now, but it would make sense that 50 would be the end and we'd have to do 45, another 45, to get Garuda first. I sense Garuda's restless essence railing within one of the confines of your etheric channels. It is time we granted it release, with the austerities of wind. Thankfully, I already have in mind a location that well suits our elemental purposes. You are familiar with the floating city of Nim in outer Lenosia? As you might imagine, the aspect of wind is entirely dominant in the area of those suspended isles. Pray make your way there as soon as you feel prepared. I am quite excited to see this new Eki. And in the area we fought Titan, we're instead dealing with Garuda. This kind of corner of the map I don't think we've been to yet. I'm not sure what brings you over here, if anything. I think I've been there on a quest. Might have been a job quest or something. I suppose last time we were here we didn't actually visit the Kobold stronghold, or at least not the inside of it. When we actually fought Titan, the closest it actually brings you during the main story is over here. Right outside of outer Lenosia, but they don't actually bring you towards the Kobolds during that. We only came here for the Black Mage quest. Floating City. We were here for... well, not technically here, but lore-wise here, I think, for the Gold Saucer, jumping around during the Leap of Faith event, which takes place in either the trees of Gridania or the floating city of Nim or some other location, I guess, in Ul'dah. Danalan, wherever. I don't really know the lore reason for what happens during the Leap of Faith. Do they get everyone in on a bus or something and drag them over across the realm of Eorzea to jump around on some platforms that they laid out? Or is it like a reconstruction of those places within the Gold Saucer? I guess the latter would make more sense. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't have to make sense. But it's fun sometimes to try to imagine. Shall we begin? I assume that, as this is your third such experience, you have by now grown familiar with the steps of the ritual. Thus, as before, I would have you concentrate on shifting your etheric balance. Imagine the energy within you howling through your veins, an incessant gale of screeching wrath. Garuda's essence will only be too eager to harness those raging currents, and shape them into a worldly avatar. Once Garuda Egi has appeared, it falls to you to tame its fury. Now the Garuda trial summoned a bunch of feathers that you had to take care of to stop from killing you, or killing your cover with an attack. I don't know if this will replicate that. The Ifrit Egi fight at least replicated the nails part of the fight. I need to summon Carbuncle. Used the barrier for most of that attack. Still knocked me back though, which is annoying. Now we're free. Oh, there's the feather. Got more. Maybe I should be using AoE. I think we got most of them. Oh, these two. Did we actually fight these during Garuda's actual trial? I don't think so. One of them heals, and I think we killed it. Those two ads summoned, Kurata and Suparna, I think they were called. I think they only appear in the harder version of the trial. Funny that we encounter them here first. One of them is like an off-tank thing that you have to worry about, and the other one heals. No one really respects the mechanic anymore because of how quickly you go to the fight these days. But I guess in Extreme you still have to worry about how exactly they get distributed amongst the party. Masterfully done, Komoi. Garuda Egi's power is now yours to wield. Your aptitude for the art of summoning has exceeded my highest expectations. I honestly could not have found a more valuable partner for my research. Let us return to Apkalu Falls. I'm sure you must be exhausted after this ordeal. Not wearing the gear that we got in the last time. Mainly because we're still missing the last piece of gear. And I don't want to glamour over them even if they give me better stats because I want to see what the full set looks like. And if I glamoured over them now, I would have to glamour dispel them one at a time. Once we got the final piece, which we should soon, I think. With the addition of Garuda Egi, you now command 3 powerful avatars. As you have no doubt realized, however, each of these entities has a particular role in which it excels. At least they used to, before the rework. For Garuda Egi, that role was unleashing magic to strike down distant foes. I must admit to feeling equal parts joy and apprehension at how faithfully the summoned being displays the original primal's volatile disposition. Experiment with your Egi allies, and the most effective use of their individual abilities will soon become clear. With such mastery of the art at your disposal, I shall almost pity Tristan when next he chooses to confront you. Before that time comes, however, I will endeavor to pierce the mystery of his motivations. May your discoveries bring you new confidence, Komoi. We will give you, Mitra, 1 or 2 minutes to try to piece together the mystery, while we look at our tooltips. That's all you get, Mitra. Of course, that just upgraded what we already had for the Emerald Carbuncle, same as it did before. But I guess there was still some truth to what she was saying, even if the summons themselves can't actually go into battle and fulfill the roles that they used to. They're at least slightly different in the way that they work. Garuda, of course, lets you instant cast rapid fire spells, same as Emerald Carbuncle, but that's at least different from the other two, slightly. Titan also lets you instant cast spells, but they have a longer cooldown, I guess, or global cooldown. In exchange, maybe do more damage, I think. Of course, that's not the actual summon spells that I'm hovering over here, rather the upgraded ruin that you get for summoning them in the first place. I guess coloring your ruin is really all you get from these summons, in addition to the 600 potency attack listed here. Then of course Ifrit gives you a slow cast, which does more damage than the other two for only 2 attacks. But I guess they're still at least different enough that you have to think about which one you're summoning, based on whether you want to move or not, or what you want to weave in. I guess Titan allows you to weave in 2 things per ruin attack that you use, or gem shine, or whatever. Whereas Garuda only lets you weave in 1 with her rapid fire attacks, and Ifrit has no weaving, and for that matter no movement allowed unless you swift cast. Just a little bit of thinking that you have to do when summoning them, but there's probably, I guess later on, a more optimal way to decide the order in which you summon them for purposes of damage or something. There's always an optimization. We'll just summon them based on whether we want to move or not, or something. Alright. Time's up, Mitra. And there's the last piece we were missing. Only at the very end. We'll take him on using these clothes. It would have been nice to fight him in the same clothes that he was wearing, the Dark Summoner or whatever. But since we don't have the last piece, we'll just be wearing this. Gomor, there's been a terrible incident. My poor colleagues at St. Cornux Find. Murdered. The reports are confused, but they all mention the same black-robed attacker. You know as well as I do that Tristan is behind this massacre. He has indeed grown bold or desperate to commit such a brazen act. We should set off to Mordona at once and speak with any survivors. It may be that we can glean some idea of what that cold-hearted monster was after, or where he might strike next. We must stop him, Gomor. The glowing crystals kind of look nice at night. If they're not blooming too much, then they're not too hard on the eyes. Oh, we're not talking to Rambros. Though the necessity pains me, we must ask this man what he remembers of the attack. Tristan cannot be allowed to escape the consequences of his unrepentant savagery. Yes, I am absolutely certain. It was the same dark summoner whom Ymitra described to us. We were celebrating a recent find, the soul crystal of an elegant summoner, when a man in black robes suddenly appeared and demanded we surrender the gem. Naturally, we objected to this arrogant imposition, but he simply sneered at our refusal. The next moment the world exploded into flame. Through a haze of agony, I saw him snatch up the soul crystal from a smoldering body and stride off towards the singing shards. The bastard slaughtered my friends. There was no warning, no negotiation. If the gods grant you the chance to exact vengeance, then I pray you show him the same mercy he afforded us. Another soul crystal. Yes, it makes sense that he would shift his attention to a more easily obtainable gem. After all your progress, you would now make for a most formidable opponent. I was wondering if the soul crystal was the treasure that he was after, that he talked about, but it seemed obvious, I guess. I don't know. I guess Occam's razor. I must apologize for not sharing my theory earlier. I suspected that Tristan might desire the soul crystal you carry, but did not wish to draw any premature conclusions without sufficient evidence. I mean, what else would he have been after? Can't really think. Maybe like our knowledge or our ether, which has defeated Garuda and Titan, and somehow he could, I don't know, siphon that from us to summon them without actually having to fight Garuda and Titan. Theory crafting. I am at a loss, however, to explain why he needs to collect more of these Algan relics. We shall just have to ask the villain himself, after we corner him in the singing shards. Let us be on our way. I was wondering if anything would take you up there. I don't think the main story does. Glad it takes us there now. Not much to see here, though, other than slightly different colored crystals. Ah yes, this is the ugly stuff I was remembering. Kind of clashing. The blue crystal and the corrupted orange crystals. It's not terrible, it's just kind of... It's a lot to take in, isn't it? Leech King? Hope that thing doesn't aggro on me. I mean, you take you on. I know the Leech King is just a level 50 guy, but... Look at him, he's fearsome. Who would want to fight that guy? Not me. Horrible. Ah, and here's another one of those things that I only saw during the Black Mage quest, I guess. A chance to enter a instance blocked off by actual physical location. So rarely do I see it. Probably because it has some functional peculiarities like that. I have brought you the soul crystals, as promised. Yes. These appear to be authentic Algan artifacts. Very well. I shall honor our bargain. From within these gems I shall draw forth the memories of the ancient summoners, and the slumbering essence of an elder primal. All the attendant knowledge and power shall be yours. I guess this is the modus operandi for the Ascians, as we know. Getting people to summon, in their terms. But we want to summon on our own terms. Oh god, the pain. The bumbling summoner and her incompetent lackey make an appearance at last. You think to capture me? Fools. I have orchestrated your every move. You have grown much in the art, it is true. But through the wisdom of the Paragons, I now command the power of an Elder Primal. You've made a deal with the Paragons, and you call us fools. The Ascians will never relinquish their hold on you. A small price to pay. If you could but feel the strength that fills my entire being, it is indescribable. I will use this power to annihilate the beast tribes and put an end to their insufferable rituals once and for all. The primals will rise no more. Hear me, Demon King of Devouring Flame. Feed on my ever-burning anguish, and be reborn. The culmination of my sacred duty is at hand. But first, there is one more soul crystal that must be mine. I will tolerate its wasted potential no longer. Oh, the summoner first. Or rather, the summon first. First time summoning Garuda. There she is. We got the full trifecta now. Devoured? Oh dear. That's a limit break. Thought I barriered through that. Guess not. I don't think we have a way of interrupting in case you want an immediate attack. Not on this class. Shouldn't have dropped your summon. By all the memories of Sumner's past, I should have been unstoppable. I will sear the disease of beastmen from the face of the land. Deprived of worshippers, the primal that tempered my weak-willed sibling will wither into oblivion. So I see my order's records were accurate. Though it was buried deep in the archives, I but recently uncovered a report that described how you slew your own brother. He was corrupted during your ill-fated encounter with Ifrit, was he not? I imagine your superiors in the immortal flames thought it a mercy to conceal that inglorious detail. Once the soft-headed fool had been tempered, there was no saving him. Oh, that's Tristan. And thus I took it upon myself to expunge the stain of embarrassment. But my work is left undone. The primal, no. All primals must suffer for that insult. After I killed my brother, I found myself liberated, my vision clear. No deed was too vile if it promised to add to the power I required. Are you listening, Komori? Take note. How can you not see? I am the sword of vengeance, and I shall wrest that soul crystal from your blasted corpse. I wonder what struck the first blow to his sanity. The despair at his brother's tempering, or the guilt from slaying his own kin. It is ironic to think that, discounting the means, our purposes were fundamentally one and the same. The Sumner employs the savagery of the primals to conquer the primals themselves. Had Tristan approached us as an ally, he might have found ourselves aiding his cause. Alas, he chose to walk the path of bloodshed. Each vicious act must have pushed the man deeper into madness until, eventually, the lust for power and vengeance was all that drove him. Take notes, Komori. The might of the primals carries with it a burden of responsibility and a measure of danger. I hope never to see you corrupted by the potent energies you wield, Komori. Well, Komori believes that she's built different, fool that she is. It is time we return to Apkalu Falls. The Dark Summoner is no more. I feel like Komori should have learned a lesson from all this. She was never very good at learning, though. Actually, I guess this is kind of similar to the Black Mage questline, isn't it? Delving into a power that's far beyond your understanding. Although it's a little bit different here. I guess Tristan did understand his power. He was just using it poorly. Maybe there were some parts of the Asian knowledge that he was gifted that he didn't understand or was misusing, or would have misused in the future. But it seems like his shortcomings came from the path that he decided to walk on rather than the goal of summoning itself. Whereas for Black Mages, it seemed like the inherent link they have with the Void Scent is a kind of dangerous tightrope that they walk. Still not really sure the exact relation they have, Black Mages and Void Scent, other than how they tear holes in reality with black magic. In any case, it's all Komori's power now, both Black Mage and Summoner. And she has learned nothing from the failings of the people before her. Probably. Oh, how I would love to declare our troubles at an end. But I fear the Ascian with whom Tristan made his bargain is yet afoot. These so-called paragons prey upon men and women who are at their weakest, speaking honeyed words to lead them down the road of destruction. In this manner, they seek to plunge the realm of Eorzea into chaos. It is reassuring to know that heroes like you exist, to foil their never-ending schemes and foul plots. An outright war against the Ascians looms closer day by day. Thus I would have you armor yourself with this last piece of the Evoker's attire. It was discovered at the same dig site whence Tristan seized the Soul Crystal, and the St. Cornex find researchers, grateful for your actions in bringing the murderous summoner to justice, insisted that you complete your set. One can never be over-prepared when heading into battle against a paragon. Wear it proudly, Komori. Speaking of preparations, were you aware that the deeper layer of power hidden within your avatars? Do tell. Now you have Komori's interest. A technique exists that allows you to tap into the full potential of your Egi. You must have seen Tristan employing this ability. During the final battle with the Dark Summoner, you would have heard a whisper emanating from the Soul Crystal. Still your mind now, Komori, and you will hear the voices of the ancient summoners instructing you in their greatest achievement. The true power of the Egi will be yours. Burning Strike becomes Inferno, Rockbuster becomes Earth and Fury, and Aerial Slash becomes Aerial Blast. Huh. I don't believe I'll ever grow weary of this spot. The sound of the falls, the dance of the fireflies. They put my mind at ease whenever I am visited by thoughts of despair. What does it mean to be a summoner, now that we're a level 50 summoner and done with the quest? Let us review the history and role of the summoner, that we might never forget the tragedy that befell the unfortunate Tristan. A summoner is a unique type of mage who harnesses the energy of the primals and reshapes it into a biddable avatar. In the ancient Allegan tongue, these avatar are known as Egi. Only those who are present at the defeat of a primal and have captured its savage essence are able to manifest such etheric entities. Now, any explanation of the summoner is not complete without a brief history of its origin. The Allegan Empire reached its peak during the Third Astral Era. Dissatisfied with dominion over Eorzea alone, this thriving civilization sought to expand its borders to ever more distant lands. Eventually, the Empire cast its avaricious gaze upon the southern continent of Mericidia. Editor's note, myself. This is just a location that we have yet to actually visit in the game. which many people theorize will be the next location we visit in, I guess, 8.0 or some future expansion. There are only so many more places in Eorzea that we can visit after all. Anyway. The peoples of these nations did not, however, take kindly to being invaded, and they summoned the Primals to repel the Allagan forces. Hard-pressed by these incarnations of elemental wrath, the leaders of the Empire's military were forced to alter their tactics. They ordered the mages under their command to devise some manner of magic with which to counter the Primals, and after much experimentation, the art of summoning was born. I see. So since the beginning, summoning was an anti-summoning technique. Strange as it is to say. I guess summoning as it is in the primal sense is the true kind of summoning, quote-unquote. While summoning as we wield it is the watered-down version that counters it. Like literally watered down. We take the essence and then mix it with our own or something, or train it to the point that it's not a seething, rapid torrent that overwhelms us. The magic invented by these arcane pioneers met with great success, and within the Allagan Empire, the title of Summoner earned the bearer an uncommon measure of awe and respect. How's it going? Here in the rain. My order's attempts to locate the Paragon who warped poor Tristan's mind have come to naught. 'Tis as if the Ascian simply vanished. I wonder, does he seek to evade our pursuit? Or has he moved on to enact some other foul deed? Whichever the case, I suspect we have not seen the last of that villain. I wonder. Could be that you never meet that guy again, even with the later quests available. Now, having unlocked that, I do actually want to test out that ability, or the new attacks that we got. It should be at least something visually different, right? There should be a training dummy in this location we can test it out on. In clear weather, no less. Gotta get out Carbuncle first. Seems like the current summoner rotation fits within a 60-second cycle based on this ability, if you do things fast enough. Alright, first, Ifrit. Do your thing. Cool. Big attack. Then Titan. Ah yes, I remember being blinded by attacks like that. Actually, the Summoner, in general, whenever I have them in my party, on my main character, I always hate it. It used to be because their summons were huge and got in the way. You can change that now. But a lot of their attacks are still completely blinding. These ones aren't so bad, but I think they get worse later on. Of course, I'm going to be the one blinding my teammates now, if I get those abilities that do that a little bit later. At level 50, it's really just a bunch of ruins and maybe this, and this once in a while. But I know for a fact that you get big obstructing attacks on your later abilities, like I think Titan gives you a big wall of rock that obstructs the view of the boss quite clearly. And I think the attack from Ifrit gets even worse, where it almost turns the screen entirely white every time you summon him. Well, not my problem. No, we're going to That's right. The Waking Sands. Training arc complete. We now have summons at our disposal to take on the Garlean Empire. If they hate summoning so much, we're gonna throw it back in their face. Countering their anti-summoning weapon with our anti-summoning summons, if I'm understanding correctly. Right, it would be in Thanalan. And there's no Aether right there. That's what these are for. Could spend the remaining 20 minutes in this episode doing something else. Be a little bit cluttered to fit in the main story as well as the Summoner quest in the same episode, but the timing doesn't really work out that I feel like I can do anything else right now, other than maybe hang out in the Gold Saucer or something. Is there anything to do in the Gold Saucer? Actually, there is. Feels a little bit weird to do it now, though. What level is this quest anyway? Guess we can't see it from here. I hope everyone else had a fruitful training arc, like I did. Or they just stood here the whole time. Coming up with a plan. 44. Okay, we are pretty close to level 50 and the end of Reborn. I think I'll save the Gold Saucer thing for after we're done, because it would be kind of a tone shift. More so than doing all the Summoner quests like I did. Like a huge tone shift to do the Gold Saucer thing. We'll worry once the fate of the world isn't at stake, or the fate of our friends. You've been waiting for us, by the way. The rescue of our allies will be no small undertaking, Komoy. Even under normal circumstances, breaching the defenses of an Imperial castrum would be a highly dangerous proposition. But now that Castrum Sentry houses prisoners whom the Garleans deem valuable, we may be confident that they have taken additional measures to ensure the stronghold's security. If we are to free our friends, we will require an effective strategy, and if we are to formulate an effective strategy, we will require intelligence. I believe I know a man who may be able to assist us in this. Lord Portalane, of House Durandare. He is stationed at the Observatorium in Coerthus. Let us go to him and beseech his aid. Well, you could have been doing all that while I was getting more powerful. Well, it's not like Komory's one to talk. All the big brain plays are beyond her ken. It'd probably take her years to months to even come up with the idea of, we need more intelligence. I don't think she'd ever admit that she doesn't have enough intelligence, despite how obvious it is. This is the weather I'm used to. Or Central Coerthus. Blinding snow. Long name. Portalane, in his same location as last time. Remember talking to this guy? Ah, Komoy. the woman who unmasked the heretic in our midst. To what do I owe the pleasure of your company? You are an associate of Y'shtola? But of course, Lord Drillmont confided to me that you were a scion of the Seventh Dawn. Castrum Sentry, what interest have you all in the Imperials? They hold us several of our number, whom we intend to free. Any information you can provide would be greatly appreciated. I see. That might explain our scout's reports. They observed 4 prisoners being led into the castrum, a Huron woman, an Ellison man, and 2 Lalafels, 1 male, 1 female. It's them. It has to be. Minfilia, Urianja, Papalimo, and Tataru. If that scant morsel is of interest to you, you may also be interested to hear about a more recent incident. An Imperial airship made an emergency landing here in Quartus not long ago. 2 men believed to be prisoners, a Rogadin and a Lalafel, were seen fleeing the craft. What did you say? A Rogadin and a Lalafel, Master Garland. Neither wore Imperial dress, and they both seemed disinclined to wait for rescue, hence our assumption that they were prisoners. Well, I'll be damned. It's Biggs and Wedge. Trust those 2 rascals to escape. We must find them, Komori, and soon. The Imperials will not rest until they are captured or killed, and if Biggs were given the choice, I'd fear he'd take the latter. Freeing those held in Castrum Sentry will require substantial planning and preparation. As such, it is an endeavor that will admit some slight delay. The matter of the escapees, by contrast, will not. Shortly after the prisoners vacated the airship, our scouts observed Imperial troops setting off in pursuit. It is likely only a matter of time before they catch them. If you wish to see your comrades again, you had best act now. If, as has been suggested, the Garleans took our fellow scions prisoner in hopes of understanding the echo, it seems reasonable to assume that they will not be executed until such time as the study is complete. But Biggs and Wedge are not scions, nor do they know what not of the echo. As Lord Portelaine said, this may prove our only chance to rescue them. I say we seize it. Thank you, everyone. You won't regret this. Final preparations are almost complete, my lord. There stands the culmination of 5 long years of painstaking work. But all our efforts will be vindicated when the Empire's vision becomes reality. At last, we have the power to purge this land of its false gods. We shall give the ignorant children of Eorzea the security and stability they so desperately crave, and which their spineless leaders have so palpably failed to provide. As you say, my lord, rest assured our engineers will not rest until the weapon is fully armed and operational. Ritotin, you depart for Castrum Occidens at midnight. You will command the western front in Vilbrand. The Eorzeans will attempt to interfere with our plans. You will see that they do not. My lord, if this be your will, I shall carry it out, to the best of my ability. I live only to serve the Empire. Yet, forgive my impudence, but is it proper to give command of half our forces to a... I have given you nothing, Perfectus. You have earned it. That will be all. Dismissed. Yes, my lord. My quarters, 1 hour. I was actually thinking, forgot to do this earlier. Let's see what that gear actually looks like. This is the summoner gear. It's green, and it has a horn, as I've mentioned before. It's I would call it a relic of its time, which I guess is good in a sense. It's classic, but I don't think I'm a big fan of the big horn. I guess the rest of the clothes, if you were to hide it... Oh. They look pretty cool. The wings on the back are a nice touch. The horn is definitely iconic, and a lot of people would miss it if it were gone, but... it's kind of, obtrusive to me. If I were to see this in a cutscene, it would just draw my attention away from everything else, like a lightning rod. And of course, this would only be the... level 45 gear. Item level 50, but for level 45 summoners. Except for this one. For whatever reason, they give you this set, which is higher item level for level 50 summoners. And of course a different color, still not dyeable. Oh, that's actually a nicer shade of green, I think. The combination with red actually looks pretty nice with the gold. Actually, that's not too bad. Even with the horn. What about our own horns, though? It doesn't really match with the pink, the green, I don't think. But I'll think about it. I do want to differentiate the costumes between my black mage and my summoner. If not now, then maybe later. For now, though. Oh, no plates here. Well, I'll keep this on and then apply a glamour plate over this once we're in the sanctuary. My purpose here is to reconnoiter Garlean activity along Abalathia's spine. Owing to this, I have the honor of being acquainted with Y'shtola. Now, the report of the Imperial airship's emergency landing came to us by way of Dismail Darkhold, situated to the west. Our man stationed at the entrance, a knight of Brycelt, may be able to tell you more. So as to expedite your mission, I shall furnish you with a letter of introduction. I pray that you will soon be reunited with your comrades. May the Fury grant you strength. Well, I guess we're not going to a sanctuary too soon. Didn't actually expect we'd go up to the gates of Dismail Darkhold. Huh. Oh. I guess we already got the hunting log. complete from that one wolf. Oh, we needed more. This outfit does look interesting, holding the book in hand. You stand before Dismail Darkhold, the subterranean fortress excavated by that great Ishgardian house of the same name. None but authorized personnel may enter. A letter from Lord Portelaine? So you have come about the Imperial airship. According to our scouts, the vessel had scarce touched the ground when a pair of men, captives by all accounts, burst forth and bolted. Imperial soldiers have since been sighted in the area, seeking to recapture them. What? The captives are like to be your friends, you say? And let us pray that they are yet a step ahead of their pursuers. The emergency landing reportedly took place near the Orm Vale, situated south and west of here. I suggest you take your search there, seek out a knight named Pierre Mons. He should be able to assist you. Funny this quest takes you to the gate of Dismail Darkhold and not inside it. I guess they have to use this area as well as the area near Orm Vale for some reason other than a side quest, which are the dungeons themselves. Again, could have turned in the quest to unlock those dungeons myself, or just now. Same thing for the Orm Vale now that I'm going right up next to it. But I prefer keeping them in my journal as hidden entries, as a reminder to complete them once I actually find the time for it. So we'll have to wait. We're here for Paramons. The Imperial airship? I saw it approach to the land with my own two eyes. I hastened to the landing site, arriving just in time to see the vessel take to the skies yet again. But not before it had deployed a detachment of troops. Gruff orders were being barked, and there was an air of consternation about them. Well, we'll leave that for next time. Once again, we're leaving our friends waiting while we take a break.